Did you know that over 400,000 people packed up and left major UK cities in the past year? That's not just a trend, that's a full-on urban exodus. It's easy to assume everyone's still fighting to live in London, Manchester or Birmingham. But the truth? More and more Brits are saying enough is enough, and they're heading for the exit signs. Why? It's not just about money, though rising rents and energy bills play a huge part. It's also about peace of mind, space to breathe, and a growing sense that big city life just isn't worth the stress anymore. And here's the twist. Some of the cities people are fleeing might surprise you. These aren't just tired, declining towns. Some are vibrant, buzzing hubs that used to be the dream, but are now turning into a bit of a nightmare. In this video, we're diving into the top 5 UK cities everyone is leaving in 2025, and trust us, it's not what you think. We'll uncover what's really driving people out, where they're going instead, and whether it's time. Postcode. Stick around till the end, because city number 1 might just shock you the most. Number 5. Birmingham. Once known as the industrial heart of England, Birmingham has long held the title of the UK's second city. With its rich history, booming retail sector and cultural hotspots like the Bull Ring and the Jewellery Quarter, it used to be a magnet for young professionals, students and families alike. But in 2025, something unexpected is happening. People are leaving in large numbers, and not just a trickle. Over the past 2 years, Birmingham has quietly climbed the ranks as one of the most moved out of cities in the UK. So what's going on? One of the biggest reasons is what locals are calling the big city burnout. Life in Birmingham has become increasingly chaotic, stressful, and frankly expensive. The cost of living has skyrocketed, especially in and around the city centre. Rents that once seemed affordable compared to London are now inching closer, particularly for students and young families. Pair that with soaring energy bills, rising council taxes, and basic amenities becoming pricier, and it's no surprise people are reconsidering their options. But it's not just about money, it's about safety and quality of life. Over the past year, crime rates in key urban areas like Digbeth and Newtown have surged. Reports of antisocial behaviour, theft, and even violent incidents have made headlines, pushing many to question whether the city's once thriving communities are still the same. For families with young kids, safety is a deal-breaker, and when you combine that with packed public transport, congested roads, and inconsistent policing, the urge to relocate becomes hard to ignore. There's the issue of infrastructure, or rather, the lack of improvement. The long-promised HS2 project, which was supposed to revolutionise travel between Birmingham and London, has seen constant delays and budget overruns. What was meant to be a selling point for the city has turned into a source of frustration and lost faith. Many residents feel like Birmingham is always on the verge of something better, but never quite gets there. And while Birmingham is known for its diversity and culture, even that seems to be suffering under the weight of overcrowding and poor urban planning. Local events and attractions that once brought communities together are now often marred by logistical problems and lack of funding. Green spaces are being swallowed up by new developments that look impressive on paper but feel soulless in reality. So where are people going instead? Surprisingly, many are opting for smaller towns in the West Midlands, like Lichfield, Solihull, or even rural Shropshire. More space, cleaner air, and a slower pace of life without giving up too much connectivity. And with remote and hybrid work more common than ever, there's less need to stay close to the office tower in the city centre. For many, Birmingham still holds sentimental value. But when push comes to shove, the dream of big city life is starting to lose its shine. And in 2025, more Brummies than ever are choosing to chase a quieter, more balanced life elsewhere. Number 4. London. The capital, the icon, the dream destination for millions. For decades, it's been the heart of British ambition, where people came to build careers, chase creative dreams, and immerse themselves in culture. But in 2025, the story is shifting fast. London isn't just expensive, it's pushing people out in droves, and not just students or lower-income households, everyone. Young professionals, families, even well-paid tech workers it's just not worth it anymore. Let's talk numbers for a second. The average monthly rent in inner London has now soared past £2,200, and that's for a one-bedroom flat that might not even come with decent heating or natural light. Add to that the rising cost of food, transport, and basic utilities, and you're looking at a lifestyle that drains your wallet faster than you can say Zone 1. But it's not just about affordability, it's about value for money. And more Londoners are feeling like they're not getting it. Beyond the financial pressure, there's a growing mental toll. London life is fast-paced, crowded, and, if we're being honest, often overwhelming. Commuting through packed tube stations, dealing with delays on the overground, and paying £4.50 for a lukewarm coffee isn't exactly. Even with the city's endless events and entertainment, many residents are too exhausted or broke to enjoy them. And then there's housing quality. You'd think with those sky-high rents, you'd be living in luxury, right? Not quite. Damp walls, shared bathrooms, and converted cupboards are still shockingly common. For families, the struggle is even worse. Finding good schools, outdoor space, and safe neighborhoods without breaking the bank feels almost impossible. What's perhaps most surprising is how many people who once loved the London buzz are now actively trying to get out. The pandemic sparked the remote work revolution, and now that flexible jobs are here to stay, the need to live close to the office is fading fast. That's led to an explosion in people moving to places like Reading, Milton Keynes, or even Bristol, areas that offer more space, better value, and a slower pace of life. London still has its charm, the energy, the diversity, the history, it's unmatched. But in 2025, many are waking up to the reality that loving a city doesn't mean you have to live in it. Weekend visits are one thing. Committing your entire paycheck just to survive there, that's a different story. So what do you think? Have you ever thought about leaving London or already made the move? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Where would you go if money and work weren't holding you back? And if you're enjoying this deep dive into the cities people are leaving, make sure to hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell. We've got more eye-opening UK content coming your way. Number 3, Brighton. There's a certain image people have of Brighton. Seagulls swirling over the pier, indie cafes lining the lanes, the echo of live music drifting from a nearby pub. It's long been Britain's bohemian escape, an artsy, vibrant seaside sanctuary just an hour from London. People moved here to get away, to slow down, breathe, live a little differently. But in 2025, a quieter shift is taking place. People aren't just arriving anymore, they're leaving. And they're doing it in numbers that locals are beginning to notice. It starts with whispers in the cafes and parks, long-time residents packing up, landlords suddenly listing properties, families trading beachfront living for countryside calm. You ask around and hear the same phrases over and over. It's just not the same. Too expensive. Feels too busy now. Brighton, the place people once moved to for peace, is starting to feel like the very chaos they came to escape. At the heart of it is gentrification. The city that once welcomed artists is now pricing them out. Rents have climbed steeply, faster than most towns its size, with some small flats hitting over £1,600 a month. A quaint two-bed terrace that used to house a musician and a teacher now belongs to a Londoner's second home fund. And then there's the tourist crush. Brighton has always had visitors, of course, but now it feels like they never leave. Summers spill over into autumn, and what used to be a weekend buzz has turned into a year-round swell. The lanes are packed, the beaches are full. Locals joke that it feels more like living in a festival than attending one. Infrastructure hasn't kept up. Public transport is patchy. Schools are oversubscribed, GP waiting times are creeping up. The roads, already tight and winding, can barely handle the daily load. And for a city so proud of its progressive image, the wealth divide visible. You'll find vegan brunch spots a block away from food banks. Then there's the weathered charm that's slowly being polished out. Independent shops are giving way to sleek chains. The rough edges that gave Brighton its character are being smoothed over in favour of clean, curated experiences. Some love it, but many long-time residents are finding themselves out of place in their own neighbourhoods. The result? A growing number of people looking inland. Lewes, Worthing, even parts of East Sussex are seeing more interest from ex-Brightonians hoping to reclaim the balance they once had. A little less noise, a little more nature, and maybe, just maybe, a chance to get back what Brighton used to be. The city isn't broken, far from it, but it's changing, and not everyone wants to change with it. Number 2, Manchester. Manchester has spent the last decade rebranding itself. No longer just the industrial, it's become a modern hub for tech startups, digital creatives, students, and ambitious professionals. With its iconic music scene, bold street art, and a skyline that changes by the month, Manchester has been on the rise. But in 2025, that rise is hitting resistance. Despite its fast growth and fresh image, Manchester is now seeing a growing wave of outward migration. People are quietly packing up, leaving the towers, the trams, the trendy co-working spaces, and heading somewhere else. Unlike London's high-profile exodus, this one's quieter, more subtle, but it's real, and it's growing. One of the biggest issues? Overdevelopment. The city centre is booming with high-rise flats, most of them targeted at young professionals or property investors. But while there's an abundance of luxury apartments, the city is still struggling with a lack of truly affordable housing. Many of the new builds feel identical, stacked on glass boxes. For those who once came for the city's grit and personality, the uniform skyline feels out of sync with what drew them here in the first place. There's also a growing tension between promise and reality. Manchester's been hailed as a northern powerhouse, but for many residents, the economic boom hasn't trickled down. Jobs in tech and finance exist, but they're competitive, limited, and increasingly reliant on experience and connections. Youth unemployment has quietly crept upward, and many graduates are finding that staying in the city doesn't guarantee career stability. Add to that a rising cost of living. While still cheaper than London, Manchester has seen a noticeable spike in rent, council tax, and daily expenses over the past 2 years. For someone earning an average salary, balancing rent, bills, and transport is becoming harder. Some are asking this much, why not live somewhere with more space, more peace, and less noise? There are also environmental concerns. Manchester has one of the highest levels of air pollution in the UK, outside of London. With construction sites constantly active and more cars on the roads, the once fresh appeal of a northern city full of open skies is fading behind grey smog. Not to mention the rain. A cliché, yes, but still very real. Long, damp winters and a lack of green space are starting to push residents toward greener, quieter places like the Lake District, Cheshire, or even parts of Yorkshire. That's the heart of it, really. Manchester isn't failing, it's evolving. But the fast pace, rising costs, and creeping sense of sameness are making some residents feel like it's evolving without them. The culture, the community, still there, but harder to find, buried beneath glass towers and rising price tags. So while Manchester is still a city of ambition, more people in 2025 are deciding they'd rather chase that ambition elsewhere. Number 1, Leeds. I used to love Leeds, and I still do in a way. It's a city that wears its pride on its sleeve, tough, ambitious, independent. Walk down Brighton on a Saturday and you'll still hear the pulse of a city that knows how to live. It's not trying to be London or Manchester, it's Leeds. And that always meant something, but even the proudest locals are starting to admit it's getting harder to stay. Leeds is now the fastest growing city people are moving away from in Yorkshire. And it's not just a matter of opportunity, it's quality of life that's pushing people out. The cost of living has quietly crept up, especially centre. Rent is no longer the bargain it once was. A decent two-bedroom flat in a central location can easily top £1,200, and for many, wages haven't kept pace. But the issue runs deeper than money. There's a tension in Leeds that didn't used to be there. Traffic is worse than ever. Public transport feels strained. Trains are overcrowded and often late. Buses come when they feel like it. And if you're trying to raise a family, these things matter more than they used to. Then there's the pace. Leeds has always had a bit of a buzz, but lately it feels like it's speeding up without direction. More people, more development, more cranes in the sky, but fewer green spaces, fewer places to pause. The city is building up, but not always building well. Big, flashy apartment blocks and shopping centres keep popping up that make a place feel like home. Parks, libraries, safe streets seem to fall by the wayside. There's also been a noticeable shift in mental health trends here. Local NHS data shows a rise in referrals for anxiety and stress, especially among younger adults. The pressure to keep up, to compete, to simply cope is getting heavier. And for many, the idea of moving somewhere quieter isn't just a dream. It's a necessity. So people are leaving. Some go to the quieter suburbs, Otley, Ilkley, even Wakefield. Others move further out, trading their urban postcode for the fresh air of the Dales or the calm of a coastal town. They're looking for breathing room, literally and emotionally. Leeds still has its strengths, the universities, the food scene, the raw energy of the place, it's all still there. But the balance feels off. In 2025, more and more residents are deciding that holding on to what Leeds used to be isn't enough of a reason to stay. Maybe they'll come back someday. Maybe not. But for now, they're choosing to leave behind the noise in search of something a little softer, a little slower, a little kinder. Before you go, what's your city story? Have you left one of these places, or are you thinking about it? Drop your experience in the comments. We'd love to hear it. And if you found this video eye-opening, check out our last one on the best UK towns to move to in 2025. It might just inspire your next move. We put a ton of time and heart into making these videos. If you'd like to support us, hit that subscribe button. It's just one click, but it means the world to us.